It's a pop culture phenomenon, according to the detective. People come up and influencers and take pictures of themselves, and the problem is they are not prepared when they do so.
And did he address rumors of a serial killer?
The elements, the heat, the terrain, people do die. The real serial killer itself is the desert.
So I got a call. Actually, a person posted up in a Facebook group I'm a part of, and he said that he got high-centered and stuck in Joshua Tree. So I'm on my way over, just off of the freeway right there. And I've never been out this way, actually. Pinkham Canyon Trail, okay. All right, looks kind of like a really tight little trail right here. Now I'm all alone. So this is a story about vehicle capability, preparedness, and the dangers of the desert. Just last week, my friend Bob sent out a message on our Facebook page that he was stuck in Joshua Tree National Park on Pinkham Canyon. So what happened was the day before, Bob was on this trail and he found himself high-centered on a boulder. He tried a lot of things to break himself free, like jacking up the vehicle, trying to stack rocks underneath. He wasn't able to get free. Now, Bob did have recovery gear with him. He just didn't have another vehicle to help pull him out. I preach all the time, don't go out alone or avoid adventuring alone. Even having a second person in the car could help because they're an extra set of eyes and hands to guide or push if needed. Bob's Honda Passport is lifted 2 inches with all-terrain tires. So just know that it has more clearance and has bigger tires than any stock all-wheel drive with an adventure package. You'll see that Bob also protected his ride with skid plates. They protect it against vehicle-ending damage. So here I am on the Pinkham Trail. I'm riding around in reverse direction, and I'm looking for Bob. Oh, he's putting down his tracks right here. Look, that's Bob right there. So I come across Bob's little breadcrumb that he dropped, which was a can of sparkling water. That's what that's for. I guess I should probably pick that up. Just so you all know, even in situations like this, I always think about leaving no trace, so I went ahead and picked up that can. As I continue down this trail, I'm finding it more and more difficult to stay on path. It's important to have an offline GPS navigation tool or an app like Guide GPS or Onyx Offroad. They work offline, so you'll never lose your bearings, even if you don't have cell phone reception. So while this trail isn't too challenging for a 3.5-inch lifted Honda Passport on 32-inch tires with a very advanced all-wheel drive system and good crawl ratio, this could be kind of tough for a stock all-wheel drive. Make sure you know what your vehicle is capable of, and again, don't go out alone. Oh, found another one. Okay. So just gonna be collecting these because I don't, So I know I'm going the right way. Bob started the trail on the east side. He made his way 14 miles down the trail. He eventually came across the rock obstacle, and that's where he got stuck. I guess he was there for quite some time and no one passed by, so no one could help him out. He waited until 6 o'clock in the morning the following day before he started his 6-mile hike over to the road where he was able to get cell phone reception. Bob has survival training, so he felt comfortable with the hike. I want to make sure you understand you have to know what your physical capabilities are. Are you going to be able to hike those 6 miles before the sun comes out and starts cooking you? So in case you're wondering what you should do in this situation, especially if you don't know how far it will be to get help because you didn't download Guide GPS or OnX Off-Road, then I would say stay with your vehicle. If it comes down to it, burn a car tire, get some black smoke up in the air. Someone is bound to wonder, what is that smoke for? Let me go check it out. The golden rule is to stay with your vehicle and just make sure that you have shade. If you go out on adventures by yourself, consider getting a satellite communicator like Garmin InReach or Zoleo. And also the new iPhone 14 is supposed to have satellite emergency capabilities. I'm personally going to be purchasing an iPhone 14 just for that reason. Okay, right there. You can see he tied an orange string. And if he's not using guide, then he might not know that there's another side. So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to... I'll just go check out the other side as well. Alright. Choose pinstripe or drive up this way. I'm going to drive up this way. That's what he did. He got stuck. Where the hell do you go? What the heck? Definitely not this way. That's a dead end. That is total. I think I see his tracks going into there. This is probably where he got stuck. But that is definitely not a good way to go. Not a good way to go. Unless you had a Jeep and you could just crawl up that right side. But it looks like this would be the place to go right here. There we go. Yeah, if you went over on that right side, I could totally understand why he got stuck. I also see some tire tracks over here. Okay. And the tire tracks go over to the... Oh, I see. Alright, here's the obstacle where Bob got stuck. I'm going to adjust the highlights so that you could better see this obstacle. So I know you're looking at this and you're like, oh, that is such a small little step. Well, I was going to try a modified line, but as you can see, not going to work. So I've ended my front bumper right there. I also think that if I straddle this side too much, then I won't have enough clearance. So I just kind of have to drive on over that bigger rock right there. All right, so here I'm getting hung up on my rear passenger tire. There's a big old rock and that's kind of creating a chock. So what I do is I readjust my line. I see that part of the rock kind of has a ramp to it, so I readjust and drive up it. The flex mod is definitely coming in handy here. All four wheels stay planted at all times on this obstacle, and it's because I have longer springs and longer struts and shocks. That means more wheel travel. You're going to see my brake lights blinking on and off, and that's because I'm utilizing the left foot brake technique. This controls wheel spin and prevents my vehicle from rolling backwards. And there you go. I was able to get through that obstacle without using momentum and risking damage. So I tell people that have mid-size Hondas, the Ridgeline, Pilot, and Passport, I tell them to skip the 2-inch kit and just go with the 3.5 inch. It puts your vehicle in a better spot for adventures. I know it sounds weird, but it also puts less strain on your axles. The 3.5 inch kit uses a 1-inch subframe drop, and this brings down the engine, transmission, differentials, so that the axles end up being straighter compared to the 2-inch kit. So I ran the entire 20-mile trail and never came across Bob. I made sure to run the entire thing just to make sure, because if someone's stranded out here, it's gonna be bad news. Like the lady said at the beginning of this video, the real serial killer in Joshua Tree National Park is the desert and the heat. And just to touch more on the intro to this video, yes, crazy people do visit places. When you're alone and vulnerable, somebody might take advantage of that. So also look after yourself. According to the sheriff, in the news story that I read, the murders, the violent murders, were not connected. Does it comfort you knowing that the same person isn't responsible for all these murders? I don't know, not me. I probably feel a little more freaked out. So I'm not going to have a clear conscience until I find Bob. It seems like he's probably somewhere safe, but I didn't have cell phone reception to double check things. Now, before I started the trail, Bob sent me a text message just saying that if he is recovered, he's going to make his way over to a developed campground in the middle of Joshua Tree National Park.